Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about perhaps the best car ever made. My old 1994 Toyota Celica S. It's got a little bitty 1.8 liter engine, same exact engine they used in the Corolla the same year, that puts out a whopping 110 horsepower. Yeah, it's not a race car. And the problem with Celicas is, as they tried to make them more into race cars, then they had problems. Take, for example, the 2002 Celica. That thing had a Yamaha redesigned engine that did put out 180 horsepower at very high RPMs, but they had problems with blowing up. They weren't designed correctly. In my opinion, it was that Yamaha engine that led to the decline and eventual total demise of the Celica. Made them for decades before that, and that was kind of the beginning of the end. So my 94 Celica S. It's got the 1.8 liter Corolla engine. And yeah, it's not going to win any races. The race of time. This thing's got 240,000 miles on it. Still runs like a clock. And sure, it burns a little bit of oil. It burns half a quart every 3,000 miles. I change the oil every 3,000 miles. Heck, I've seen some modern cars that they burn half a quart of oil every 400 miles. And this thing is 26 years old. It has almost 240,000 miles. That's what I call a solid engine. And it's got an uber dependable 4-speed automatic transmission. Yeah, I would have rather had it with a 5-speed standard, but heck, I only paid $350 for the car. So in that case, beggars can't be choosers. And really, it shifts perfectly fine with 240,000 miles on it. It's had the filter and fluid changed like 8 or 9 times in its lifetime. Transmission's never been touched other than that. And look at the nice wheels. Well, it's just a facade anyways. These are AutoZone hubcaps, but they look pretty good, you know? I'm not gonna waste my money on tires and rims. And when you put these back on, it actually looks pretty good from afar. Now the engine and transmission is all original. I did put one timing belt and one water pump on the engine, but other than that, it's all original, except for quite a few other parts. But if you want the truth of that, the old parts weren't even worn out. Anybody who knows me knows I check out things all the time. So I have customers sending me things all the time. This thing's got a catalytic converter, all 4 struts, fancy seat covers, new discs and rotors. But I was testing out products that other people made. The car didn't actually need it, but hey, they gave them to me for free, and I was testing them out for all you viewers to see if those companies made decent products or not. So these fancy LED headlights, they're not stock. They look cool. I still got the stock halogens in the trunk. They still work. I'm testing them out for people. As you can see, they still work quite well. I put them in years ago. I'm just using it for testing stuff. This hatchback has a lot of room. Yeah, there's a lot of junk in it, but realize this is a work car. And I use it for hauling stuff all the time. Watch what happens when I take pieces of it out and move things around. This comes right out. Then we can pop the seats up. Look at all the room this thing has. I've hauled all kinds of stuff. Giant screen TVs. Wood for fixing an old rotten house. There's a lot of space in this thing. Well, at least there's a lot of space when the seats are put forward. But, truthfully, if you're sitting in the back of this thing, there isn't that much space for big people to ride in the back. It is a compact car after all. And yeah, the seats were out, but look at this. These are custom-made seat covers I got online. They really look good. These are seat covers. These aren't reupholstered. These are actual seat covers. You'll see, they're just seat covers. They snap on. And now people are saying, oh, Scotty, that thing doesn't even run well. Look, every time you turn the key, guess what? It starts right up. It's a Toyota. And look at this, original AC system. Ah, the sucker still blows ice cold. Granted, with all this glass, yeah, you got a lot of sun in there. You got a greenhouse effect. You need a good air conditioner in this car. And here's one of my cool inventions. Since Scotty's cheap, they broke years ago, and you got to buy them in pairs, and they cost a lot of money. So look at this. I just bolted on a little plastic swing arm. That's what holds it up. When it's closing, you see, open it up, locks in place and holds it in. Then when you want to close it, you just pick it up and then get out of the way. down it goes. It's been that way for over 10 years now. That thing isn't going to break. Those assemblies, you buy the factory ones and you got to buy them in pairs. She said it was over 200 bucks. Why not just invent things? I don't care if this thing's stock or not. You know, I'm never going to sell it. It's my work car. Now they're fun to drive. The suspension is a big upgrade over what would be on a 94 Corolla. It's no race car. It's a fun car just to tootle around in. I mean, took it out to West Texas one time where the speed limit's 85. It had no problem cruising for 8 hours at 85 miles an hour. And yeah, years ago, I had to change the radiator. They're a plastic aluminum crap like everything else has. But I bought one of these Japanese ones back in the day when I bought it. It was $79. Took like 40 minutes to put in and it's still working 10 years later. That's the advantage of getting something that's basically a Toyota Corolla. There are parts all over the place, aftermarket, because there's still millions of them rolling down the road. You don't have to special order sports car parts and pay a fortune like other cars. Most of the Toyota parts fit this thing. Now sure, this thing's 26 years old, but look at it. It's still got decent style to it. GT that's out front that's going to the junkyard, it had more horsepower and it's headed to the junkyard. But this little thing is still rolling along with its 1.8 liter Corolla engine. And being front wheel drive, it's good up north in the snow. It pulls itself along quite well. It's not like a little rear wheel drive sports car in the snow that's gonna fishtail all over the place. Heck, the previous owner took it to Colorado to go skiing many times. And yeah, the paint's faded a little. The reason I got it for $350 years ago was the fender was crunched. I had to have my body guy put a fender on. And the front bumper, you could see the orange and yellow underneath because the previous owner had it painted at one of those high school shops where you pay for the materials and they paint the car free. I had the whole thing painted one color at one of these discount paint shops and they didn't do a fantastic job. You can see it's getting all flat now, but at least it's all one color. Making this the first car I ever owned in my life that was all one color. All the other ones were a bunch of different colors because they'd been wrecked before I bought them, and fender wouldn't always match the bumper, wouldn't match the hood because they'd been resprayed. And when you repaint a car, it's almost impossible to get it the same color unless you paint the whole car. The bumper's going to look different than the fender if you don't paint both of them. And unless you're willing to spend thousands having the paint scraped down to the bare metal and totally repainted to look like new, you can end up with a flat paint job after a while if you get a cheapy paint job. But it's my work car. The hot Texas sun is fading the heck out of the paint, although it's Texas rain at the moment. You want an all-around vehicle that can drive all over the place and not break down. You can't beat a 94 Celica S. I wouldn't think twice about jumping in this thing now and driving to California. And yeah, I took out the crappy Toyota radio that had a tape deck in it and put in a CD player years ago. So now you know the truth about my old Celica work car and why they can run forever. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.